Hey, so I'm here with Eimear Darcy. It's been an eventful year for you. It's been a good year. There's been ups and downs. Obviously, the down being not being able to compete for the third time, but overall, it's been a really good year. Straight into Cage Warriors. How do you feel your year's went, and how are you feeling looking back on the year as it's gone by?
Yeah, I think it's been a really, really good year. It took off really well in April, obviously with my Cage Warriors debut, and then July was my second fight as well. And then I've been planning for the third in November, but unfortunately had to pull out from that. But as soon as I was able to get back on the mats, I was just focused on next year and also finishing off what's left in the year too. So yeah, I feel like it's been a good year of training.
It's been a very good year, and obviously the pre last year it was kind of you kind of rose to the top of amateur, and then usually you know yourself people fight around the regional scene, but you got drafted straight into Cage Warriors. What kind of a feeling is that? And I know they done it to a few Irish people as well on that card as well, but it's not usual that that happens. How did that feel as a fighter to go straight to Cage Warriors and you without having to compete because you were scheduled to compete on a regional show and that opportunity came along. What was that like?
Yeah, it felt great. It just felt like it was just an amazing opportunity that we just had to jump on it. And I know that like Cage Warriors has such a high caliber of fighters that I was just so excited to just get stuck in at the very, very start. So yeah, it felt really good.
You know, and like that, it's gone very well for you in your first two fights as well, and you've won them both by finish. And with your start being so good, do you attribute that to the kind of talent that you faced at amateur within Ireland, the likes of Sarah Sheridan and people like that? Do you attribute to those fights as what led you to kind of take off straight away in your professional career?
Yeah, I fought the best girls in the country. And I fought as much as I possibly could as well. Last year. So I really do feel like that had a big part to play in like preparation for these professional fights as well. Because I did get to fight such talented girls in the country as well. And then just consistently training and growing on the mat. As well as like the people that I fought and the people that I train with as well. I've such a high standard of training partners as well, which is deadly. So I feel like all of that just added up to bringing me to where I am now.
Yeah, no, and like I said, you've done fantastic. And one things I've noticed about you is you've I nearly see you've trained with every one of the girls that you've fought against at some stage. It seems like you all seem to get rounds in together. Is that just you in particular, or is that kind of the community of the women in MMA kind of stick together and they want to help each other out?
Yeah, I don't think it's just me because like even say I trained with Sarah, but I know that she trained with other girls then as well. So I think it's just like in the gyms, there's not many girls to train with, like in your own gym. So it's good to get the rounds in with the girls when you can as well. And no one has ever like standoffish or anything. People are always more than happy to train. So I don't think it's just personally. I don't think it's just a me thing. I think it's a everyone thing. That people just want to get good training in. So they're just happy to train.
Yeah, no,
And we're really gonna fight each other anyway. Like everyone's gonna fight each other anyway. I feel like so it's just great to get the rounds in, with people when they are down in Dublin. Because like Chloe, for example, she's up north, so like when she travels down, it's great to get rounds in with her. And Sarah's so close as well. So I think people are just really open to training because they just want to get good training in.
yeah, no, I didn't mean that in a bad way. I meant it's
No, I know, I know.
a unique kind of it's a unique kind of thing, and you see it happen in with men's MMA as well at sometimes. But
Yeah,
with girls, and like I said, Sarah, yeah, Sarah actually does is so she's like that, and she trains with all the girls, and she's so about bringing kind of everyone, all
yeah.
the female
That's why I
fighters
don't feel
together.
like it's me. I think it's just like everyone because I know like Kerry Ann and Sarah have trained together, and I would train with Kerry Ann if I was able to go down to Cork. So do you get me? Um, everyone's really open to training with each other. So yeah, I think it's just I don't know, an everyone thing.
I think
People are
it's
just
an Irish everyone thing as well. Like they said, there's not a huge pool of women at the minute, but and you're fighting against them and then training with them and trading. different positions or whatever. But I think it's fantastic. I think it needs to
Yeah.
happen as well. It needs to happen. And what do you feel like? I was at a card there recently. I can't remember which one, but I nearly believe there was three female fights on it. Right? If you go back 2 or 3 years ago, it was hard to get one. What do you think of the way the women's MMA is evolving at the minute? It seems to be going very, very fast.
Yeah, I think it's deadly, and you see even the likes of in our teens class and compound, there's more girls joining and stuff as well. So like, hopefully they're gonna stick with it and then go through the adult ranks and stuff as well. So I can only imagine now that that's gonna be across lots of different gyms. So I think we are gonna see like a big kind of influx of girls on the like more girls on the cards. Because in my fights there was always, I think I was very lucky, there was always girls last year. And I think before that maybe I didn't know who was doing MMA back then because I was just focused on K1. But I think from talking to people it was like a little bit harder. But I was very lucky last year that there was just so many people to fight.
Yeah, no, and it was like that. It was a fantastic year that you had, and there was some fantastic matchups. Like you and Sarah is probably that's probably one of the most viewed. It is definitely the most viewed video on your. I want to say
Mm.
40,000. The last time I seen that was a cracker of a fight. But no, I love the way you all work together and just want to push each other forward. But talking about Cage Warriors, obviously you were on the regional scene, and you go to Cage Warriors. It's a different setup, and this isn't any bad about the Regency, but it's just more professional. There's a lot more media stuff to do, stuff like that. How was the transition into doing that? Was it overwhelming? Did you expect it, or what was it like?
Um, I think it was more just probably the like it wasn't overwhelming getting into the like in the fight itself, kind of, or just everything that comes with it.
Kind of the week of, and then what it was like actually stepping into the Cage Warriors cage, then kind of separately.
Well, it kind of just felt the exact same, to be honest. It was very surreal, say when I was well, the week of was just the same as any other kind of fight week. And then I suppose the weigh-ins were just different because you're just weighing in on front of everyone rather than like kind of being in your kitchen and doing it there. So that was a bit different. Um, but then, like the day of the fight, it felt really like surreal when I first walked into the RDS, and I was like, "Wow, like this is mad." And then the minute I walked into, like the minute you get into the cage and the cage is closed and you're about to fight, that's when everything just disappears and it just feels the exact same. But it was like I'd never been used to like that many like like the cameras and the screens and stuff. So at one stage I was like, that's mad, that's me. And then I was like, wait, that's me looking at me. So I was just stop because I was like, don't look at yourself. But then all that kind of like it everything's finished then and the fight starts and it's just the exact same as any other fight.
And that's mad, is it? Because obviously there's bigger crowds than there would be at a regional show. So
Mm.
the noise of the crowd just kind of is it still the same as in the regional? You can just hear Ushin and Ryan or whoever's in your
Yeah,
corner,
I
and even though
hear,
there's so many people there, it's just gone.
yeah, I can only hear Oshin. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
mad. But it was like that once you kind of got in and you got the win and you got a really good win as well. What was the
Mm.
feeling like then when you won and then obviously you were in the RDS, there was people there supporting you, hearing them. What was that emotion like winning on such a big stage in Dublin?
Yeah, it was deadly. I just felt really like it was the same like with each fight. I just feel very like proud. I'm just like I'd feel quite proud of myself. And then it was lovely because all my family were there and I had so many of my friends there and stuff as well. So I got to like share that with them too. So it just felt really, really special that so many people were there to support me as well. So it was a lovely feeling afterwards to just be with everybody.
Yeah, no, I'd say I love the Dublin shows. Like there is no fans like the Irish, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And especially it's very rare that you get to fight in Dublin or got to fight in Dublin with on the regional scene because of the way most of them are up north. So
Yeah, because
it was
even like
nice.
I got up the morning for the fight, it was mad. I didn't have to travel really far. I was like, whoa, I actually have like time in the morning. You're not getting up at like 7 to get on the train down because you'd have to be there quite early to get medicals done and everything as well. So that was the time as well in the morning. I was like, oh, what am I gonna do?
Uh, and that's good because a lot of guys actually say that's when I talk to the court guys, they're saying when it was in the Cork show, like they're traveling minimum 4 hours anywhere. They said when they woke up like that, they weighed in and just right, what do I do now? And
Yeah.
it was a weird feeling. But you went 2-0 then as well with another finish. So you've got two finishes back to back on Cage Warriors. What was the feeling like after that? And you were looking forward to the third fight, obviously. So talk to us about what was like winning the second one, but then having to pull out of the third yourself because it's happened to you a lot. And it's the first time you've had to do it. So I'd say that was weird. So what was it like winning the second and then having the third one announced and thinking you were going to go 3-0 in the year?
Yeah, winning the second was it was just such a deadly feeling as well. It was great. It was great fighting over in London, and having Oisin and Alex there as well, and I had my family there too. So it was lovely. So it was another like really kind of like special moment then afterwards too. But it was just yeah, I was really happy with how the performance went. There's was after the fight we went back to the hotel and we rewatched the fight, and we kind of just picked what we needed to fix and just went through it again and then my brain was just kind of focused onto the next fight, which was supposed to be London. But unfortunately, yeah, I had to pull out. And that was just really hard. And I'd never pulled out of a fight before, but I've had people pull out on me. So I suppose it was kind of just then I was like in the other person's shoes of like it's not a nice feeling having to pull out either. But I'm glad that I'm gonna get to fight then the same girl as well in April.
Yeah, no, and like that, you would have been preparing for the same girl, and you've got her again. And like you said, it's a really good matchup as well. If you win this and potentially get another finish, which would be bring you to 3-0, like there's a lot of potential then because not a lot of fighters from Ireland get brought to London or get brought to these other cards as well. There's only a select few you've probably noticed yourself. So it looks like they're kind of getting behind you. If you win another one or two, do you think there might be talks of a title shot?
Yeah, well, that's my goal. Is that I'll win this one, and then it hopefully go for the title fight. Then, yeah, I'd love to fight for the title next summer.
And I think that's entirely possible as well. I think obviously with the way you're going. Are you looking obviously you want to get that fight and win that fight and then go on to the title. Are you looking at a certain amount of fights next year or are you just thinking of the next one ahead to get to go forward and then potentially get a title shot?
I just want to fight as much as I can. The plan was to fight 3 times this year, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But the plan would be again to fight 3 times next year as well. But I would love to fight for the title on my fourth fight. Yeah, that would be my fourth, isn't it? My maths is terrible. Yeah, that would be my
Yeah,
fourth.
that would be a 4 fight and like that it's entirely possible with another finish. But I want to ask you, obviously, you go straight into Cage Wars and doing so well. One of the things I noticed about you and your coach as well, you're very level headed and calm. A lot of people might get carried away with the success they're having. How do you kind of keep yourself on an even keel that you don't get ahead of yourself? Because you seem quite humble and you kind of know exactly what you need to do. Whereas a lot of people might get carried away. What do you put that down to having that maturity to hold back from getting too far ahead of yourself?
I think it's like the team that I have in compound, Oisin as a coach, Alex as well, and it's just like myself too. I wouldn't like after every fight, whether I win or whether I lose, there's always things to fix. And when I'm in training, there's always things to fix. So I can't have the mindset of thinking that there's nothing to fix because then I'm just stuck. I'm never going to get better. Whereas if there's always something to improve on, then that's just me getting better, getting better. So yeah, it would be just more that I would be very aware of the sense that I'm not doing everything right. Even if I win a fight, I still haven't done everything right. There's still mistakes that I've made that I need to fix for the next one. So yeah.
You know, and that's what I liked when you said that a few minutes ago. And do you think sometimes fighters were you always like that, or was that something that came on with time? Because I think sometimes fighters when they win, they don't look at the win all the time to kind of pick the faults because you're in the obviously the moment. Was that something that happened over time, or were you always like that with Ushin from the start?
I think I would have always been like that with Oisin from the start. And he would be very much kind of talking to you about what you need to do to improve as well, not taking away from the win, but just building on it, of how you can win better next time, and how you can improve next time as well. And it was always okay on Monday. let's work on this. So it was always just getting back on the mat straight away to work on what needed to be worked on.
Yeah, and that, like you said, that's why you excelled and your progression was so quickly through the amateur ranks, and you could see you getting better every time. And that's what it's a trip to. It's obviously what you've and Ushing have done in the meantime. But no, he's a fantastic coach. He's a fantastic guy. He's gotten well. I've met him before on the way back. I could stay there talking to him all night about MMA. He's so good at breaking down fights, and he's such a good guy. It's been a fantastic year for you. I really looking forward to see what happens next year. I was thinking maybe like that a title shot might be in your future next year. Hopefully this fight goes the way we all want it to go. Thank you so much for your time. Fantastic year. Is there anything you want to say before you go?
No, I'm just really grateful for all the support from everyone all year, from my team, from my coach, from Ryan, family, friends, from yourself as well. Everyone has just gotten behind me and it's just felt very, very special and I can't wait to build on it all next year. So yeah,
Perfect. Thank you very much. Best of luck going forward next year. I'll be watching your career as it progresses.
thanks. Thank you.